you probably do too, but there are some things that I do that I'm sure you do. I have a lot of bad habits, in other words, that I can teach you today. Okay, so I'm going to go through it. I got a little list here, just so that we look at it and there's three things that I think of when I'm turning. It's wood choice, lathe holding, and shaping.
Oh! That's nobody else.
Okay, so for small stuff like this, I can go between centers, but I prefer to drill a hole and put it on and open it. And it's so fast, right? Yeah, it really, really is fast. So that's what I'm doing here. And this is some cherry that I got from a guy a couple of weeks ago. So I don't think this will come off unless it yeah, my next thing is tool rest. We have straight tool rest and we have curved tool rest. I can use both. I prefer curved. I take a lot less time to turn the bowl with a curved tool rest. You don't have to be continually moving from one position to the other, etc., etc. So I'm going to use curved tool rest. And any of you beginners or starting, and anybody, I would suggest that you save up some money and buy a curved tool rest. I've tried, I have the robust and I have the one way. The robust is really nice, but when you get up to the end, it gives you more chatter than the one way. I'm telling you as I see it, right? And nothing wrong with the robust at all. It's a real nice tool rest. But she chatters a little bit more than these old ways. Yeah. Okay, so how many tools do we really need to turn the bowl?
Just one.
Yeah. I'm going to turn this bowl today. I'll show you other things that I don't need to. And I'm going to use two tools. I'm going to use a bowl gouge and I'm going to use a spindle gouge once, probably. And that's it. My bowl gouge is 60 degree always from the time I started, and I'm stuck with it because of David Ellsworth. He sharpens it at 60, and 60 is a very handy tool because you can, if you have a 55 or a 50, you can't get down the bottom of bowls and pick at. You're going to run into trouble and have to look for another tool. Whereas a 60 and sweat back is what I use. I have a extra one here. I can pass it around to show you what my grind looks like. Here, you can start it there. Yeah. My spindle gouges are 45 degrees and sweat back. So I know I have a few at home that are like thin, and probably 20, 30 degrees, but I hardly ever use them. I use them for spindle work if I'm doing a finial or something, where I need that extra sharpness, but this does the job for me. One way. Everybody has these, right? Yeah? Now, I have not moved this position in 10 years. I haven't. So I do my spindle gouge with this, a little further in, and my bowl gouge. So I just get my bowl gouge, stick it in, bing, bing, one turn usually, and I'm back on the lathe.
What notch are you on?
The last.
The very last one at the bottom.
Yeah. So it's a great tool, and you cannot be a wood turner unless you have sharp tools. You can tell me anything, but I'm going to tell you that's the truth. Jerry Bell will tell you that's the truth.
Sharper the better.
Yeah. Now, I know a lot of guys use carbide. And carbide, there's nothing wrong with carbide. You buy them sharp, and they work wonderful, but they go down on you. And then you get all this tear out and stuff if you don't change that little disc. So, beware. The edge goes off of the chisel quicker than you imagine. If you're not accustomed to a dull tool, it'll fool you. Yeah. So I like my high-speed steel or whatever, and that's what I use, basically. These are one-way chisels. There are two types of one-way. There's one that they sell that is a double end, I don't know what they call it. But they have a different name to just a one-way chisel, right? So this is what I use for most of my stuff. Pretty handy little guys. And this is a one-way too. Oh, I have a one-way, by the way. I live on my one-way, and I just bought a Vic Mark, a big lathe, because I was sick of changing to 1640 from a 2436, so I always had to set it up different. And I ordered a new lathe from One Way, and they told me it would take me 5 months minimum to get it. And I went to the Hamilton Wood Show. Are you the guy that bought the lathe at the Hamilton Wood Show?
I bought mine off of the fellow up in Alberta.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah.
I bought his old one, the L300.
Yeah.
I love it.
They're amazing limits. Yeah. Okay, so everybody in there are right-handers, or are there any left-handers? No left-handers. Huh? All right, that's going right. I'm probably not going to need it. I just put it there for safety to start. But the cam it's gone past, so I might have to take one of those ways. If you are serious about wood-turning bowls, you should learn to be a lefty and a right. Lefties for taking the outside off, it doesn't go on your face, and righty when you go inside. You guys ready for this? I'm not too sure.
Is it a dry piece?
No, it's wet. It's wet. It's going to be all over the place. So how does it feel to turn on a small lathe if you're turning on a big one? I haven't turned on a small lathe in probably 5 years.
I can turn on a small one.
Oh, okay. If you do it, no.
I think I could answer that.
Yeah.
Turning on a small lathe, if it's a good small lathe, there's really no problem. The only thing I notice is you feel very cramped. Everything is so small.
Yeah.
All of the lock-ins, spindles and everything, like, compared with a big lathe. That's about the only difference I've noticed, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I will mention is everyone that you watch who demonstrates talks about dancing with the tool, right? Learn to turn at any dance.
I am having trouble hearing.
Oh, you have to learn to turn before you can dance. If you start off a guy who knows nothing about turning bowls and tells him he has to dance, then you never learn to turn. You'll be dancing more than turning. So anyway, so I'm lefty here now, and I'm going to knock off this in a hurry. Yeah, thanks. And people will ask about tool rest height. Everybody knows where to put the tool rest, right?
No.
Okay. Your tool rest has to, or it should be, when you put it on the tool rest, it should be center or above, not below. That's what I meant. Right, Peter?
The tool tip, part that touches the wood to me.
Yeah.
So the rest is lower, so the tip is higher.
Yeah, that would be a little higher. I'm higher right now, probably a quarter inch higher. I could walk this down a little bit. I think. Yeah. catches, but when I get catches, they're fierce.
Because,
Well, just because I sometimes push myself too far to see what would happen. And all of a sudden, bang, we're going to sit down for a few minutes and then I go back to the thing. Yeah, it's scary sometimes. Yeah.
the tool you're presenting, I can't see from the side, but how far over do you have it turned in?
Okay, I start around 45, and then I open it up,
Okay.
and you kind of know how it's happening.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm just trying to get one off pretty fast, right? I don't know what to turn here. What will happen with you as you turn more, you get very comfortable on the lathe. And comfort, if you get comfortable, you turn a lot better. I'm just saying that. If you can pick up the tool and walk the lathe and think, and not think, you're well on your way. You're learning. Right, Susan?
I still think too much.
So, yeah, I see where you're crap now, Peter. Just marking my time.
What speed you running at? What speed are you running the lathe at?
1270. So I'm not much of a pull guy when it comes to coming out of the bottom. I like to push in because I have more control over it and I can run my metal and get a better cut. So for this, going into to get the time, I'm just going to run with it. And then, this is the other tool that I use, which is a spindle gouge. If you use a scraper on the tanning, and you have wood with any pump or anything at all, you're going to get tear on it. If you use a cutting tool, there's no tear on it. You might get a catch, but no tear. So there, that's all you need. Pretty simple, and with a chisel like this, you have to point this where you're going. You can't come and do this and expect it's not going to slide all over the place or do this and it'll slip all over the place. You have to line these up. So it still happens to me occasionally. I'm not thinking too much about it. It's a good way to have. A good way to do it. Okay, so I'm going to come there a bit more. Now, I saw that Andy use a cut that I use all the time, which is it's not really a sharing cut, but it's a cut where instead of the wood coming down to hit the tool to cut it, if you skew it like this, it shaves it off. Right? So you can get a real good finish with a cut like that. So there you go. See the difference already, right? It's very, very, very noticeable. And if there was any tear out in here, it would probably have taken out. Probably. Because if you do tear out, you get tear out like this with your gouge at 45 and higher. But this works really well. So I do it both ways, left and right. So you're going to pull out again here. And I'll dance with it this time. So there are a few lines there, but they will come up so easy that will scare you. Okay, so
You get less tear out though with wet wood, don't you?
no, I don't have them tear up. No. It'll be hard to sand too.
Yeah.
So while I'm here, I'm going to talk about sandpaper. Okay? Many years ago, I thought if I used 80 sandpaper, I was shaming myself. And there are a lot of woodturners that think that they have to have a good enough cut to start with 220. So I would put you next to me and you do your best cut, and I do mine, and I'll go with my 80. And when you're still there with the 220, I'll be finished. Quick, okay? I'll show you what I use while we're at it. I just saw that Lee Valley sells these now. Not Discover, but. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to just do a little sign in here to show you. I got it one to reverse. So even if you have discrepancies and the wood doesn't look good, this is 80 sandpaper. This is a 2, okay? Use it like you're turning. Don't just go sand. Then put it on, turn it over. Okay? So that's ready now for an average grip. And what happens with sandpaper, I know everybody knows, but I'm going to remind you, is that this is 80 and it goes in deep. So if you go now with a 150 or something, it takes off that. So you notice that when you start sanding, and you sand with a higher grit of sandpaper, as soon as you start with the second sand, like 150 or something, it sands very fast and then it slows down. So once it gets down to the flat, that then has to dig your holes and your lines so that you can put something else on. So that's the reason. I'll just do one more grit and that'll be it for me. I'll just do a 120 with this guy. So these are grit, I think. See how much dust on the up there? Yeah. So I'm going to stop there. That's good enough for me. So if you were doing that with 220 sandpaper, you'd still be here suffering. So remember that. It's a good thing to know.
Did you make up those handles for the sandpaper, Charles? Those old knobs you got, did you make them?
No.
You bought them?
I've had them for years and I can't find them anymore. But they do have the yellow ones now that are just like that. Yeah, and I saw one on here actually, a couple 5-inch and 6-inch. And I use 6-inch pads because I have a punch. And I can get 2 3s and 2 2s out of a 6. Whereas with a 5-inch, you can only get 1 3 and maybe something else. So it works out a lot more economical to buy 6-inch. And that's really good sandpaper. To see it, that's really good. So I'm going to take this off. Get out of my way, so. So the other thing about turning a bowl is I never use mortises. Because if you use mortises, you cannot turn thin. And one of the biggest reasons that bowls crack on you is because that are too thick. You have the outside, the inside drying, and all of a sudden you have a piece in the middle that is neither here nor there, and it cracks on it. There's pressure in the wood. Whereas if you do a thimble, never crack, even if you do it wet. Put it down, 3 days, it's dry, put the finish on.
Do you only work with wet?
Oh no, yeah. This is the first wet wood I've used, so okay.
So why would you turn wet?
I didn't have any for a while. So I put wood down, and that's what I want to do. So. But if you can, when you turn dry wood, and then you put a piece of wet wood on it, it's like drinking water and a Coca-Cola or a beer. Different. Okay, so who turns gold? Everybody?
Try to.
Yeah, you do. So, come to it now. Let's start off with this. I don't have it inside. Oh, I do actually, but I don't know if I use it. Right. Okay, let's just check this. You gotta be careful too if you do softwood. If you do softwood and you tighten up too much, it might break off sometimes. But all of a sudden you'll just be left with that tenon and the bowl will be gone. Okay, so who has problems turning the inside of the bowl? Really?
Transition at the bottom, and then wings.
Transition?
At the wings, the chatter, and then transition.
Yeah. What tools are you using?
Rubber survey tools, sharpened to 55, and then bottom. Yeah. Yeah. Just start.
You got some. You got comfortable with it. What's going on here? Oh. Peter. I turned it, changed the speed before we stopped it, so maybe that's fine. Okay, it's better now. Very good. Live and learn. The famous bevel. Everybody knows how to rub a bevel.
How to look? Yes.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. This hand holds it onto the tool rest. It does not really control the work we do. What is controlling the work that we're doing is the trigger. You're on a bevel, and you can follow that. It is simple. It is simple. Don't be scared of it. Get your tools and practice. That's all I can do. That's what happened to me. This will cut you. So you can just take off a little piece of. Okay, so you have to have this hand over here to be able to turn, to get started. If you try to start here, this is going to run away. It's going to run away from me. It's going to come towards me. So the key is to get the hand all the way over here. And start. And the bowl is a curved piece, so you always have to have this hand moving. You can't go. You have to go in and pull it. You have. I said at his house last night.
Come in and take the picture. Come, Sean.
Hey, thanks.
This is Sean.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Hi, ladies.
Now, if you want, you can turn this chisel and take that knob out. Because you're not going against the grain anymore, you're going with it. So it works pretty good. So you can take that out like this. Fast. That works. Should have got it. So I'm going to attempt to do a fairly thin bowl. Maybe another friend that you should always have, and if you don't have one, you should get it, because I use this a lot. You can feel it, but bigger bowls, and I use it a lot.
Charles, why is it making that noise? Are you trying to carve too much? Is that?
I don't know, just the way I think it's smaller than
But sometimes I get that if I'm trying to take off too much with
Yeah,
my
that's probably
edge.
it, yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks, Jim, that's a fact, yeah.
It's also tool rest height as well.
What does that
So I
mean?
go in and then okay, it's too
What does
much.
that
So I
do?
go.
Tool rest height?
Well, you kind of put the tool rest a little bit lower, you get the noise, you get a better cutting angle.
If you raise it up to lower it, right?
You can hold
Lower
it.
it, lower it, yeah.
Drop it back.
And lower it and drop the handle if you tool
Whereas if you
down.
have it there, calipers.
So your tool is coming up more than you go like this, instead of going in dead straight.
So it's more of a
Different
steering.
cut.
brand is that?
Pardon?
What brand
People
is
get
that?
locked in on this tool rest height, I don't. Making a noise, I move the tool rest. And normally that's what caused it, so.
So,
And if it's making a noise, it's not cutting properly.
Right, right.
when you get close to where it gets big, you have to turn this like that. Because if you go in with the fruit like this, it's going to catch on. Because it all of a sudden it's going from that much to that much, and it's going to catch on. So as you get closer in, you turn this, and it stops catching. So remember that, that's a really, it's a good thing.
Turn it which way? To the right?
Pardon?
Turn it right or turn it left?
Yeah, just turn it down.
Down one?
That's
Okay.
it. Okay, sure. Otherwise you'll be in trouble. And the other thing is, I do stop my lathe a lot because I like to see where I am and feel where I am. It's not real thin, but it'll work for today. I don't want to have to remember. Notice how I turn this down. In a bowl, if you, like I can rub my metal in, right? But in bigger bowls, as you get closer in and you have more curve, it is sometimes really, really hard to come in at this angle. you just can't do it, so you have to go up and come down. It will come natural the more you turn. Yeah.
Keep eyeballing it as you go over. I was noticing you're looking to get an eyeball of where your approximately thickness.
Yeah. You have to try and follow this out. You will get accustomed to it. The sweet thing about the ball gouge is, if you have anything there and you do it properly, it'll pick up all the impurities and start having fresh water again. Picks all the impurities up. Is that what you call it, Peter?
I don't know, I'm normally swearing.
Yeah. So there you go. I'm not even thinking about it. I always have to pick up the cup, right? So we'll do the same thing here again. We'll pull this down. So I'm getting a little thicker from there, so I'm going to do that. It's better to cut with a cutting tool than to sand. Okay? That's for sure. This is your right hand, sorry. So you have, now that I have that curve, you still have to rub this metal, so it's pretty hard. It's better to have a tip than a depression, right? Because if you have a depression, you have to sand all the outside to get it back into that. To get rid of it. Whereas with a little tip there, you can just go in and take it off. So you don't have to do so. Sanding, I use a Makita sander, pardon me, a Milwaukee. Because that's what I have, and it's a 12 volt. And the reason I use a 12 volt is because it doesn't go as fast as an 18. And I find that when I use an 18 volt, first of all, it's heavier, and secondly, you'll burn your sand paper up real quick. Yeah, you see where we got that cap trying was coming up, yes, Sam?
Every time that's normally if I get right to the end, pull the tool out, bang. You always forget to look for it.
Yeah, you do. Okay. So, This,
Can I ask you something?
sure, Peter.
Why do you use a static hand sander on the outside and a power sander on the inside?
Because I can do better with a static sander on the outside with shaping, use it as a tool. And when I get inside, you can't really use it like that. So, you try it. When I use it on the outside,
I mean, I use power out on the outside
You
and
do?
the inside, you know.
I feel more comfortable doing it, the way I do it.
See, again, I had a long chat with Andy about this recently, about the density of the pads that you're using.
Yeah.
The softer the pad, the more it conforms to the shapes.
Yeah, the intermediate pads, or whatever you call them,
Yeah,
interface pads, or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have one of those, you're going to get cuts. You're going to see it. Physically, you're going to see them in here. And I sand because there's no give. So you just go in, and if you're a good sander, you might get away with it. If you're not, you're in serious trouble. Yeah. So what I can do is I can pass this around. Don't mind what you see here. This has no finish.
Sorry?
Where you buy your pad? This is just sand.
Stockroom,
Okay. So that's what you have to strive for.
when they have them, they're not always in stock, so, you know.
Okay?
That's about the only place that has them regularly, you know.
What did you sand it to?
Probably 320. But then what I did is I take shavings out and I burnish it. And that kind of does the trick.
Nice and thick.
Sorry, Charles, what was your trick?
This winter?
Pardon?
What was your trick? You said that the last thing you said, after 320, what did you do?
Sometimes I'll go to 600, but I will use the shavings and burnish it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you how that's done. Holding the sander, so using the sander.
Burnishing with the steel wool the same as with the wood and all?
No,
No, no. I'll show you. I'll show you how simple it is, and you just get a handful of wood and go. Do that. I'm using a 3-inch. I could use a 2-inch pad, but I think I can get away with a 3. Get a lot more sand than a 3, right? So around it.
You don't reverse it?
No. I can, if I was sanding the outside, I would reverse it. This, I'm going this way. So I'm putting this on, and I'm spinning it that way. Okay? So sanding isn't, sanding is using your hands to shape this and get rid of all the sand. You have to keep it moving. You can't pick up a piece. If you have a depression, which happens a lot to everybody, to me, you have to not go into that depression. You have to sand outside and bring it in. If you go in there, it'll just get worse. You guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do? Okay, cool. So this is the slowest I can go. I usually go a bit slower than this. 2 hands holding like this, and on the body. I'm done. Quick like that.
What's the grid on that?
120. I got a little capture when I pulled the tool out, I guess, but I'll leave that, this is mine. So this is 120, I'm gonna go a bit higher on the inside so I can throw the shavings on and work and show you.
That's the back here.
Peter.
You had it
oh,
down.
sorry.
Yeah, I just.
So I shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna go 180 and then 320. Which probably will work.
Do you ever use Merca, Charles?
Pardon?
You ever use Avernet, Merca, Avernet?
Yeah, I have.
Do you like sandpaper better?
I like it, but the way I sand, I don't have any dust extraction. I find that the holes fill up really quickly.
Oh, okay.
Whereas this guy I've been using for years, and I'm really accustomed to it, and this stays sharper longer than the other one too. Yes.
Which one's that? What'd you call it?
See it?
Oh, the SIA?
See speed, yeah. It's really good stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, really, really good stuff.
I assume you use a mass at your shop.
Oh yeah, I have dust extraction on both legs, come right there, right? See it going. There. I thought I had a mass like Gene, and I have a 3M that I brought my back from Margaret's, and I use it. So this is 320 that I guess. Okay, the other thing I'm going to show you is static sanding. Everybody does static sanding, or like you stop your lathe and you sand, right? Okay. And when you feel it, it feels like it's been turned. That's what you're trying to achieve, right? You don't want to feel any of these kind of things happening, which will happen if you linger too long with the sandpaper. Okay, so static sanding for me is I'll show you where I static sand. A lot of people sand static at the bottom. I think. I've seen most people that I teach and stuff with that experience, they always sand there. I always sand up here, like in that area, because I can do this. Whereas down there I have to do that. So static sanding. Third movement, you got out the movement. And there, that's static sanding. And there's no way that you can get away from static sanding if you have bad wood and stuff like that. You have to do it a lot. Otherwise you'll end up with something that doesn't look nice. And that's not really desirable, right?
Do you ever do static sanding first to get rid of some,
Oh yeah.
and then go into your
Oh,
setup?
yeah, for sure. Okay, let's see if I can get this happening here. Need some speed. And I need some shapes. You don't need this much. Today. So that feels glazed almost with this. I have used steel and pardon?
Would you burnish the outside too?
Yeah, I can too. Well, this is 120. Well, I'll try it. It might work. I guess it's as good as mine.
So the purpose is that is to fill the microscopic.
Not really. It's just a means of learning. Making it smooth rather than up. It's same as steel wool, but I find that the wood works a lot better. I haven't used steel wool in years. Steel wool.
So what speed are you burnishing at? Does it matter?
Oh, I was flat out, I think, it doesn't matter. I think it was around 12, 1300, somewhere around there. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to take the tan off. At home, I have a vacuum system, so I use my vacuum system to do it. Here, unfortunately, not going to happen. So, while I'm setting up, I'll pass that around so you can look at it inside and see how it's furnished. But the other bathroom, whether you use it again. I didn't bring it.
What are you looking for?
The whole thing's coming out. I need another one of these guys from that cupboard right there, that bottom cupboard. And look down in the bottom. You'll see one of these knocking out. Down in the bottom. Yeah, thanks. Perfect. Okay, so basically what I'm doing here is I'm converting from 1/8 to 33. I'm 33 because I use M33 at home. Oh, there, so more than one, I just get a cap. So what I brought is a mammoth oven to hold the reverse. This should hold. It's nice to have a big socket for your own big one. I've done pieces up to 36 inches. Still have a 28-inch bowl. Jerry can tell you about. Remember I won one year.
With your big bowl?
Yeah, the big bowl. Yeah, in Niagara. I think the guys just had a competition. But the bowl is really, really thin. And it's 28 inches straight. Probably that deep. Hardly weighs anything.
That was the Home Depot show?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
You were there? Yeah.
We
So I ran to the guy and I said, there were so many more beautiful pieces on the bowl, and I admit that. So I said, what are you doing, man? He said, I've never seen a bowl so big, so thin, so smooth. and I laughed. So I just took it to show, that's all. Not even to compete with it. It worked. I still have it at home. A 28-inch bowl is not a good bowl to make, to sell, because you can't put it in the cupboard. Okay? So if you have a big table and you can put it on, that's fine. Otherwise, okay, where's that bowl? Oh,
right here.
So I would usually use a vacuum for this, but it just works, so I take the time out for
You gotta watch that it doesn't crack. Yeah. It's that thin. All right. Are you telling me that you got the feel?
No.
And they are dovetail drawers, right?
Yeah, I ain't going nowhere.
Who makes that, Chuck, Charles?
The what?
Who makes that, Chuck?
Big monk.
Big mark, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. You can do a lot of real sweet stuff on a can, right? Because this bowl actually goes down into this can. That's why I work with tannins. If you have a mortise, it'd be that thick there. Right now, I'm down in a tannin, maybe only that much inside. So I gotta be careful.
So are you going to use the tannin as a foot? You're going to cut
Oh.
can use it as a foot,
Oh, yeah.
then take it off completely.
No. I let it foot because it gives a little bit of,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not taking it off.
Gives you the shape.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, you got it. So, I can do it with the same gouge, no problem, and I will. Okay, I'm going to show you something else as well. This is interesting. If you put a bowl like, and you want to get the tannin off, and the bowl is vibrating a lot, right? Unfortunately, I can't get this down. It might be slow enough, but I will put the chisel on there and tweak it. Because if you can get it slow enough, and you have a sharp chisel, you can take that off at 100 RPM. Whereas if it's chipping like that, you're going to have to go and do more standing because it's hitting and missing, right? So this is really simple. It's a pull gouge like this, but I'm also curving it, so you have to use a bevel. So and I'm going to do it slow like this. Simple. The other thing is, God, I forget I do so many things, but if you're doing a spindle with this, and you're going across the spindle, for instance, and you want to turn to go in, all you have to do is don't even turn your hand, just raise this, and it will cut that corner for you. Okay? I couldn't believe it. One day it just happened. And I went, wow! You know, it doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
No, it doesn't. I'm really not going to cut too much off of this because I'm pretty thin. Now, I do have to cut to blend it in, so I'm hopefully that I have enough that I can do it. And I'm going to use the cut where I skew. So I hold this down. Whoops. Funny how things get in your way. Oh, that should be good. Okay. Sandpaper. Small bag. Okay, over 120. So I'm going to stop this and you can see a crease in it right there. So sometimes, if that crease gives you a lot of trouble, take the sandpaper up, fold it like that. You can fold it any way you want, but I find that if I fold like one on top of the other, it looks better. And then you have to do it by hand, which is pretty simple. Keep turning it because you get fresh sandpaper all the time. That's good. So that basically is a small bowl. So a small bowl should not take you really, really long, but every inch that you add on, put in about 15, 20 minutes, right, Peter? Yeah, small bowls. The most practical small bowl, I think, is a 6 inch. And I actually, I don't know what you guys have to make rounds with. Do you guys make rounds for the size bowls that you're making out of plywood? Yeah? It's pretty cool actually, because all you do is you make your round, center punch, put it on, punch it, mark it, and if it's a natural edge and you put it on top, you can leave this in and you can cut on the outside of the plywood, which is really handy, because I'm sure some of you must wonder, how the hell do I get this cut round now and mark it, right? So put this on and put your bands on, cut it. Works. The other thing is shape. Guys, you can have the most beautiful piece, finish, colors, everything in the world, but if it doesn't have shape, you might have it on the counter or in your showpiece for 3 months, and then it starts to bug you. It just doesn't look quite right, and it comes off, and another one goes up. You know what I mean? Okay. Everybody got any of these?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't, next time you go to the store, buy one. You can do everything with this. You can do a holoform from there up. You can do bowl shapes from here to there. You can put it any way you want, right? And you can mark it out. And you know what you're doing. And then you can put it right next to where you're doing your work, and you can follow it. So this is a tool, and you should have one in your arsenal.
And it's all based on a catenary curve, and a
Yes.
catenary curve is if you suspend a chain
Yeah,
and let it droop,
yeah,
it will make this
absolutely.
instant
What do
curve.
you call that, the French curve?
No, it's the right name is a catenary, C-A-T-E-N-A-R-Y. Catenary curve.
Yeah. So that's really, really handy, and they're not expensive, but they will work. They will work. Look at everything there. So we did tool control. You guys understand tool control? Okay, because I'm going to put another piece on, and I'm going to show you how I use a scraper that you use, a normal scraper like this. And I'm also going to show you how I use a scraper like this. Okay? It might work. So I'm going to have to put another one on. I'm going to look probably this. You can pass that one. So. And if I wasn't talking, that I can finish probably in 10 or 15 minutes.
Would you have gotten that fine if it wasn't on a regular application because it's so wet?
No, I get
You
this.
still turn it down that much?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't expect it to move?
No, sometimes it'll move, but you gotta be.
So what kind of moisture content are we talking here? Like, what sort of sound, like 30, 40?
No.
That guy probably, yeah, he's wet. Yeah, he cut not long ago.
And you still bring it down that fine?
Yeah.
Well, you can feel it.
Yeah, it feels wet. I tell you, you will never have a thin bowl crack. Never, ever, ever.
You have to leave this, because you can't put a finish on it if it's still wet, can you?
3 days.
Is that it?
Put it in, take it back. 3 days, you can go back and just barely touch it with some sandpaper and put a finish on it. Yeah,
And then take the tank off, because you're taking it off.
I couldn't.
Do you usually leave the tannin on, dry it and take it off?
talk to me guys if you want to know anything, if I can help you, in any way. And I'm not telling you, it's just my way, and I do a lot of turns.
How many?
8. To help you with questions that you have.
It says more than that.
All right.
Simple advice for a newbie. Would you be your best simple one thing? Practice. Yeah, that's the only thing I've ever done right there.
Yeah, practice, but you know what you should do? Go and get construction grade material into the house
Okay.
and use that. So then shallow holes. When you're a beginner, if you turn shallow holes, it's easier for you because you don't have that transition down there. And if you learn on a shallow hole and you get more comfortable, then you start getting deeper holes that you can go down and transition.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Need a hoist to get up on your leg.
Come help me.
We haven't seen it.
Charles, can I ask you a question about tear out on the inside of a bowl?
Yeah.
So I find that that's probably my biggest problem is getting tear out.
Okay.
So what's the most common thing I'm doing wrong probably?
Your tool is not sharp enough.
Oh,
First
what was
thing.
the problem?
The tool needs sharpening to start. And then if you still have tear out after that, you're gonna have to screw your chisel, which I'll show you how to do. And it'll take it right out because the blade is actually sharing it away. It works really, really well.
Okay.
Yeah,
When I come up, you can show me.
I will.
I'll bring a bowl with a boo-boo in it and you can help me.
That's scary. That's scary. Okay, not to worry much here, we're just gonna knock this out.
Did your wife come down with you, Charles?
Pardon?
Did your wife come down with you?
It says weekend.
This is weekend. So you
No, she's at a home show.
That's her weekend.
Do you think one way is beginning to lose its edge? Do you think one way is beginning to lose its edge relative to the other?
His wife's name, I forget.
It won't sit, Charlene, it won't sit in the teeth.
How about relative to technology?
Technology.
I mean, I've been up to one way a couple of times, so, you know, it's a family business. Huh?
Do you have a one way?
I had one, I sold it.
You sold it? Okay.
No, I moved, so I don't have a shop anymore. I've just,
Listen, one way? Whereas I have to brick more. So,
oh yeah,
you change the lead box, right? One's going this way, one's going that way. So I turn the ball here. Then bring it out, and I cord in this. So, turn, cord. Deep down.
no, I just was wondering, you can see all the ads, et cetera. I don't really know them.
You will tell you which the best lathe is.
Sorry?
I said you will tell them which the best lathe is.
Definitely not one way.
One way has its problems, but one of the biggest problems I have is one way.
The only lathe I've ever been uncomfortable on working with is a one-way.
The lathe comes up here, so it gives me problems.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas the big market is flat.
How many lathes do you have?
Two of them off the sale. That's why we have a chisel. You must, you move your tool rest along, so don't leave it hanging over the collar.
What did you get? Yeah, the curved tool rest from some good ones.
Okay. So, this is a scraper from the outside of the bowl, okay?
So what?
From the outside of the bowl. I would use this on the outside of this bowl. Scraper.
Can we keep it cut down a little bit? Too much noise.
Okay, so,
You said just use that one on the outside of the bowl?
pardon?
You said just use that on the outside of the bowl, not the inside?
Yeah, I'll show you the inside. So it goes like this. Excuse, look at that.
Which way are you holding that?
Pretty cool. Yeah, you can, if you're not real comfortable with the low gouge, you can scrape with scraper like that.
It would have to be sharp because you're not
Oh,
terrible.
that's everything.
Why would you use a scraper over the ball gouge?
I'm just showing the beginners.
Yeah, well, my question is, why would you even bother with it?
I don't. I never do. I'm just showing. Yeah. It's a good thing for beginners.
That's something I won't use.
Wanna use it?
There's the reason.
So I'm not trying to make a jewelry, right? I'm just showing you how this works.
Right.
And if you are not comfortable with a spindle gouge for doing your tenon, you can also use this because it can go right in at whatever angle you want. You can adjust it, right? So it's a handy tool.
Do you want to show them how you hold it though? I mean, there's a trick to that.
Oh, you mean like this? Yeah. Yeah, you have to put your hand down. And I rub it first and then I bring it forward.
Move that light a little.
Can you just shut off the light so we can see it on the screen? Because right now the light is washing out everything you're
So
seeing.
what play is wide enough?
Oh.
Turn it off.
Just turn it off.
Just turn it off?
Just, you don't have to see.
I see.
That's better.
I know you can't see well, but
Yeah.
we can all see
That's
now.
all right, yeah, that's all right. You don't need to see that. So look how sweet that cuts, right? Look at the little shaving that just came off.
What speed are you at?
Times 70. I don't think it really matters. Lots of not jiggling too much and stuff like that. You're okay. So that little piece that I just did there, it looks good. Not gonna waste your time though, for sure. So I'm gonna turn this around. I'm gonna cut out a little bit on the inside, and I'm gonna show you how I use that. I'm gonna show you how I use a bowl gouge to scrape the inside of it.
You showed us the other scraper, the rounder scraper.
Yeah.
Do you ever use that on the outside to get?
Oh, I can, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I've never tried one.
So if you didn't use it on the outside, would you use it like use like a negative rate, or would you turn it up to 45?
Same.
So you.
I've never used it yet, but I'm
Can we call it, please?
yeah.
Earl, one meeting.
So, I'm gonna put it the same way. And I'm gonna do the same thing.
Right.
It's all called tool control. When you learn to control your tools, you're done, right?
Now, is your tool rest higher when you're using that?
No, the rest is, this is about right on the center there. Yeah.
Never use that flat pan.
If I use this flat, I have no control of that. Whereas when I use this, and I actually am rubbing the metal, it's following the cut, right? So you're not supposed to do that with a scraper, but I've run into problems and I reached for the scraper and I went this way and that way and the other way, and this was the way that worked best for me. Yeah.
Are you sharpening it with a hook on it or not?
No, that hasn't been sharpened with a hook yet. Yes, I do pull the hook on it sometimes.
How do you put a hook on this one? We do have a bit of burnish.
Yeah, varnish until it's dry. Something. Yeah. So let me try this one around quickly. It's been time for all
The
you
reason I don't use them is if you've got a long line of bowl gouge, you can roll the bowl gouge over and work it like a scraper. And you can do shear cuts. Now, if you do a shear cut with a gouge, right, so that the actual cutting edge is like at a steep angle, the wood's coming down at a steep angle, get a beautiful finish on it. You know, far better than
The other thing is,
because
if
it's
you
actually cut
have a
on
bowl
the line.
gouge,
Whereas a scraper isn't. Scraper tears the fibers out.
Yeah.
It just makes
instead
it
of
rough.
gouge, sharp.
There's no point.
Instead of gouges,
I don't know why people use it.
And you always go from the bottom to the top.
And always the last cut I do with a gouge is always a shear cut.
Before you sand them.
So, at one stage of the game, the reason that you turn it is because you want a nice piece to show off, right? So if you're not onto the bowl gouge like Jerry and all you guys that have been turning for 10 plus years, use a scraper. And the sooner you get better, toss it out.
Why do you need a scraper?
Pardon?
Become so diplomatic.
Just don't do a good job.
Barbadian.
I'm a very diplomatic guy.
It just said, use it until you get comfortable and then toss it out. That's exactly my point. They're good for using to put plants in a garden, you know.
Okay, I'm going to show you how I would work. It's going to go. Same thing. There are reasons why there are bowl gouges. You see that doesn't cut as good as the bowl gouge. I put a bowl gouge on there and there's a big difference. Watch this.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm not an aggressive guy. Anybody got to do? All right, I'm just gonna stick this on there and then go inside because I want to show you what I want.
Was that just because you were pushing hard?
Yeah, I was forcing it.
Yeah, that's why it came off.
Are you using the right or the left side of the tip? The left, when you're going in with the.
Oh, with the gouges? I don't know, I gotta think about that. I go in like this, and I open it a bit so that it cuts.
Well,
Yeah, like that. If you don't open it, if you put this in here and you keep it like that, it's not gonna cut at all. It will never cut. So you have to open it up a little bit. Still with your level rubbing, and you have control. Okay. You have that on video?
yes.
What did you say?
I don't care.
Oh, yes.
Blackmail.
Have you got
The eye in the sky, it sees everything.
I know.
Charles, how'd you get, so you got your blank there, but you've already got a mortise in there. How'd you get that? Just drill
Drill
it?
machine.
Just drill it?
Really?
Okay, okay,
And I drill it before I cut them,
right,
because it can hold them better.
okay.
And if you have any problems holding them, just clamp it. And so you can hold the clamp, it has more leverage.
Okay.
It probably won't get away from you then. But
What
if you hold
are
it
you
right
using,
around.
2-inch
First one.
Forstner bit?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I use it for a tenon like this, I can use from 1/7 to 2, maybe an 1/8 or something.
Okay.
You have enough. Okay, so,
Good idea, I never thought of that.
Yeah, that would be a recesses.
okay, so I think this gouge is getting a little dumb. I can blame that on it.
Yeah.
One of the double-ended ones.
Huh?
Double-ended.
Double-ended, yeah. I'm the double-ended guy.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, the first thing is I have to run this elevator and in trouble all the time. Okay, so this is honest.
Go easy this time.
How's that?
Go easy this time.
So you guys, when you go home, you gotta start practicing in a handle, right?
Yep.
Well, man, I'm telling you, this will make a difference in your turn. Well, I don't have any stuff up in my face, right? He's getting over there. I'm over there. I mean, if I just do this. Well, the other thing is with woodturning, you have to have patience, right? I'm telling you. You have to have patience.
You know, it's a demonstration.
Well, no, that was, the tool was getting dull. Okay, so I'm good. Stop. And the other thing is this, turning should be fun. If you feel stressed when you're turning, look for that hobby. You gotta learn to relax and think about what you're doing. And if anybody comes in the door, stop turning unless you know them really well. And the other thing is sometimes if you can't go up to the front of your level, you might be able to start here. Oh, wait, because of that. And then you can turn the gouge up like this, but not taking too much of this. If you take enough of this, you're going to get a catch that's going to scare the hell out of you. So you can go like this. And I try out my gouge, but I'm not right up to 90 degrees, right?
That noise right there, that's showing you what?
Just a bit of vibration. But if you were working with very thin bowls, the bowl screams at you. All of you must have heard it, right? It'll tell you, it'll really scream.
Yeah, your ear should be telling you how you're cutting.
That tells you a lot. Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the bowl gouge. I'm not even going into more. I'm just going to show you here what I'm talking about. You know what I need? Let me get where it has it. Oh, here it is. This is a burnishing tool. And any of you have ever done cabinet work and you use cabinet scrapers, you have to burnish an edge on it, right? A curve. And you use this. Okay? Bowl gouge. Okay? What I'm going to show you now is two ways you can scrape your bowl gouge. Okay. I'll have to work with this one. If you're going to scrape the bowl gouge, oh, this is a small bowl gouge. I'll use another, this one. If you present the gouge to the work flat like that, you're going to scrape from here, right? And if it's flat, you'll never catch. Never, ever, ever, ever catch. You can actually come into the bowl with this line, and then slowly bring it until it works. But another trick that I have is I burnish this end here. And I scrape with the outside edge. So, very simple to do. Ooh. Food for thought, right? Whereas with the other one, I come in like that, and I scrape like that. Fills up. Fills up. In this end, it doesn't always do that. Have it almost at 90 degrees, and you will never get it catch. But the fun part is scraping from this side, so you don't even need a scraper. You can sell it if you have a good bowl. Okay, and that happened because of problems I was having inside of the bowl, and I couldn't get it scraped out. And I tried everything, and that's the only thing. Now, a normal scraper. Anything you read or hear about a scraper, they always say a scraper is to be held this way and scraped. Watch this. Rub in like that on the scraper. So if you sharpen your scraper too sharp, you can't use it. You won't be able to turn it. So the scraper has to be around 60 degrees and the rubber metal. So, any questions?
Yeah, how were you holding that again?
Okay.
Is the top of the scraper
Yeah, you start by rubbing your belly, okay?
rubbing the belt?
And then you go in. And then all of a sudden it's going to scrape.
Well, it's almost reversed to what you normally come from the center out from.
It's what?
Outside rim in.
It's what? Tim?
I say it's opposite, instead of coming from the center
Yeah.
out, it's coming from the rim in.
You can go in.
It's basically the same cut, but just reversed.
Yeah, and it's more controllable, and it works really well for me anyway.
Now, the old story is that you place your tool slightly higher than center, in other words, bring up the tool or something. Do you do that with this routine?
I don't do it much.
You don't?
I'll try it and see. I'm not
So
scared.
that's the way I learned it. You had to bring your scraper up slightly higher than center.
She's pretty high there. No, it's working. Yeah, it works.
Seems to work.
I have no control. No control.
Right.
Yeah.
So when it starts going like this, you're losing control. Swaying it up and down.
No, even pulling it across because there's no battle following the cutting edge. So you would go, and then you get the sandpaper up, right?
That's what
So
I do.
yeah, because I'm not really good at this, and you should always, people buy Niagara scrapers. If you hold this like that, it's going to catch it. You have to negative rate so that it goes away from it. If you put that in there, you will get a catch. I'm not saying you will, but you probably will. Okay? Because it's coming down flat, and it's going to do that. Yeah.
And again, I can't see from the side.
Okay, so let me just look at the list that we have to see if there's anything else. Really, you can get any tables, because we have to use the chisel. Oh, the other thing that is so important for finishing, and I can show you on this, is a light. If you do not know how to use a light, you'll never finish the story. So, I don't know if you can see that.
No, too bright.
If you look there, you can see every humps and bumps and everything, right?
Kind of like drywall.
So if you bring it out here,
You can't see
it looks pretty cool
Yeah.
until you start to put your finish on it, right? So, a light, don't have to be an expensive light. This is IKEA. This is a reconditioned, as you can see. And you make sure and put it where it shines directly on it, the beam, and you'll see all of these bumps, and you can take them out. If you don't do that, we can work hard. Okay. Look again. Okay. Before I go on to piercing, I'm going to show you something else that is important. And I don't know which of you use Osmo. Anybody here use Osmo? You use Osmo? This is Osmo on a bowl. It has 3 coats on it, and I put Osmo on, and I use this, but this is not a sanding pad, this is a cleaning pad. And it has lots of oil on it, and the oil will go, you know, and it will get oily. So when that happens, and you think this isn't looking right, what you do is you take a piece of paper and you take this and you roll it up in it and squeeze it, and the oil goes into the paper. Then you can put it back on there again and take more off, take more off. Squeeze it again, do it that way. Because if you have too much Osmo on a bowl, it doesn't look good. It has to look.
There's one coat on the back of that one I brought.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's one coat of Osmo.
Yeah, they're wonderful. It's a really good product and it lasts really long.
Which product, Osmo, do you use?
The gloss, the high gloss.
There you go. Osmo 3043,
Polyx?
clear,
It
satin.
doesn't lose its sheen.
This is satin.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't lose its finish.
No, it doesn't. And I made a turner for my wife to do eggs and stuff. She runs a bed and breakfast. And I did it 3 years ago. And I wrote on the back of it, with just a pen, my name, bed and breakfast, etc. Goes in the dishwasher, still there. So that's how you prove a product, right? By using it, not listening to everybody. You gotta listen to me though, because honest to God, it is a good product, right? I'm a polyurethane guy, and you know that, right? But when it comes to kitchenware and boards that you're gonna cut on and stuff like that, that's the product. It costs a hell of a lot more, it lasts twice as long. Okay, I can tell you that. You hardly use any of it. I mean, to do a bowl like that, I would probably have one of these little, with maybe that much in it, to do a whole bowl. So, I thought I'd tell you guys because I'm not I didn't start with Osmo, it's new to me, and I've had to do a lot of playing with it to get it to how I want it, right? So, just sharing the info. Okay. Pearson tools. First of all, Pearson, I'm not a piercer, okay, so I'm just going to tell you. For you guys who, all you guys have to be artistic in some way, okay? So, you know when you get bored on a night and you sit down and the TV isn't showing, or your wife or husband got some guest in a dress on and stuff like that. I draw these, no specific way or anything, but simple. Okay, head some on, you can rub it out, it's not as in it. So, okay, so here's one that I did. I'll show it to you. What I can't possibly. Okay, so this weighs less than a month, and it's very, very thin. And very, very thin makes it really easy to pierce. If you have something thick like that, it shows the thickness every time you put the piercing tool in. So you don't want to show thickness in a pierce. You want to show finesse and thin. That's me. Okay, that's thicker than this.
Yeah, no, it's.
Yeah, it is. So that started out with a drawing like that. And then I started with a piercing tool. And it took me so long to do the first piece, I almost put it down the line. And then I went on, and I sort of thought, see if I can find something else that can do this. So,
What would you use that for?
nothing.
Under protection?
Listen, bowling has to be fun on and a challenge.
Yeah,
I love a challenge.
Stranger constantly.
Yeah, big boss. So when I was in Louisville, besides eating some of the best Mexican food in our island, right? I bought this. This is battery operated, lithium ion. So I can leave the house to shop, I can go and sit down by the water, and it repairs. No strings attached. I do have a lot of them that have strings attached. And some this one, that's all I
What speed does that run, Charles?
35,000.
35.
Yeah, all you do is turn that up.
So 35,000 is enough to pierce. The difference between that one and like the dental one that runs on compressed air is 350,000.
You can get away with more with the one that's spinning faster if you have wood that has knots in it and stuff like that.
Or a bit
Because it's
thicker.
going so fast, and it's going to, I think, Peter might tell you, it'll probably burn the wood, right?
I don't know, I think the lower speed is a problem with burning, to be honest.
Yeah, they can work on it. So, this is a bit that I use for piercing. I did the whole of this with that.
Just hold it there, will you?
Yeah.
So it's a cutter blade? Looks like a cutter blade.
It's what? Sorry.
A cutter blade?
Yeah, it's a carbide, and,
Okay, thanks, Charles.
and it's really, really fast. When you have big piercings like this, all I did is put it in till it cuts through, and then just move it. Right around. Done. I pierce this with this in probably just a little bit over 1 hour. The whole thing, yeah. With this bit. With that, I would probably have 3 of them then, okay? Jerry will tell you though. You know what I mean, right?
You can did the little flower in the middle of that?
I started it, yeah. And I finished. And I don't have any specific stuff for sand or for files or anything. All I do is take a piece of 6-inch sandpaper, probably around 320 or something, and roll it up. This is 80, so it's not going to roll real good. Maybe I have something less. 220, okay. And sandpaper. So all you need is a couple of bits, some 220 sandpaper, or if you're real rough, you might need a little bit more, but spend your patience and do it properly, you know. Do it with finer sandpaper.
Can you pass that other one around if we can see?
Yeah, I'll do that, sure.
Can I ask a question about the wood you use for that? Would there be wood that you would shy away from doing piercings on because of its fragility? Like, what kind of wood is that?
This is mahogany.
Okay.
It's gotta be dry or else it's gonna move on.
Well, I turned it first, and it's so thin that within a day, it's just dry. So I'll pass this on. And I'm not telling you it's the best thing in the world, but for me, works.
Charles, we do.
Okay. So what I'm going to show you guys now is something else that I have also tried and it really works. So what I did is I cut this shape out. Yeah, this is tape, paper, paint tape. So I get the paint tape and I put it between two pieces of wood, you can see it there. So this comes from there. So I cut the paint tape out first, of course, a little bit. I put it in there, clamp it down. Put this on top. And then I cut the shape out. So these pieces that are here are an example. You just stick them on. And you can draw them out or whatever you want if you don't have that inclination for stuff like that. Or you can get an old novel, paperback, and you can clamp it down together, put your thing on top, and you get hundreds of these coming out. If you cut them on the band side. You can put a paperback novel, just squeeze it down, and cut any shape you want with that. And you get 200 if you want in a hurry.
Repeat.
Yeah. So things like that. They don't make much sense, but they work.
Gotta make sure you read it now.
Yeah. So. Once I get that back, I'll show you. I'll maybe paste this and show you how I do it.
Go ahead.
Can I have it first?
No, you can have a second.
I just want to take a picture of it. So.
Oh, sorry, Peter.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
That just was wet. Looks like it from a distance.
So as soon as I get that bit back, I'll show you. It's just one cut. And you can see there, Peter.
No.
See, this bowl is a little thicker, so I might need something a bit bigger. But you can cut right to the line, real easy with this. Whereas the one that spins this way, it wants to pull you this way and pull you that way. Right? You have more control with this. I find anyway. I'm not telling you that's right, but I'm almost right on the line there. And if that was a little bit thinner, it would have gone through. So the piece that I showed you there, I'm not a piercer. That was the first piece I ever did in my life. Yeah, I just did. So even if you don't have a clue, you can do it. That's what I'm saying.
Can I ask you a question? I probably missed it. I had to step over and take a call. That block you got in front of you cut in the center, what was that for? Right in front of you.
Oh, this? Oh.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, okay. This block has painter's tape in it.
Okay.
Okay? So it was a cut. These pieces came out of that. So I cut the painter's tape out, and I put it in the middle here. Then I put a template on top there, probably not this, I probably drew it. And then I cut it on a bandsaw. So all of a sudden, these guys come out. And lots of them.
So you just layer after layer.
Layer after layer after layer, so you can do them any shape you want. And use them for marking your piercings and stuff like that. You can do any shape you want. But you must, instead of cutting one at a time out with the scissors or something, you can use a bandsaw, a jigsaw, whatever you want to use, and get lots in one cut. Just saving time. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. And this came off of a roll of tape. And you can take pieces off of that and stick them on.
What you got?
Tack cloth.
Tack cloth, yeah.
Tack
Yeah,
cloth.
yeah, but don't rub it in, right? Tack cloth is to take off a little bit of dust and stuff. So usually, before I put my finish on, not when I put my oil on and stuff, I just kind of blow that off with a compressor. I'll put my oil on, and this is the oil that I use before I use the polyurethane. This oil will soak right into your pieces, and before it dries, you wipe it off. Completely wipe it off. Do maybe 2, maybe 3. Real easy to put on. I just put it on with a foam brush and then wipe it with a paper towel. And then you don't have to use as much wipe-on powder because it's filled all the pores, right?
Do you sand between coats? With the oil, like you're saying you put about 3 coats of oil on
Yeah,
it, and wipe off the excess and let it dry.
yeah. If it needs it.
Say, take a 600.
Yeah, but it'll be
very
just a
light.
pass over, yeah. It wouldn't be sanding anymore than I have to, right? Because I do, yeah. And I do a lot of colored stuff, and what happens is, if I'm not careful, I will go in and the color will come out. So I gotta be real careful. So it gotta be, before you start to finish, put a finish on, finish your work properly. And if you finish it properly, you'll never have a problem. Yeah, you'll never have a problem.
So Charles, why would you put antique on? Because doesn't it colour it if you're then going to put a colour on?
No. If I put a color on, I put a color on before. And
Oh, so you wouldn't use that if you were colouring the piece?
oh no, I'd use it after I put the color on.
Oh, afterwards?
Yeah, after. Yeah.
Why?
Because I feel like.
Because you can't stop it.
Good answer.
I actually have a colored piece here that I brought down that has no oil on it. And the colouring that I use is trans tint. And I think the only place you can get it is over where I always buy mine is at Rockler, just across the border. Yeah. And I use denatured alcohol or ethyl alcohol, whatever you can get. And I put it on with a brush, either foam brush. I put on as much as I can. It dries very quickly because it's alcohol based. And I let it dry as it wants to, because wood, you can color wood, but you can't tell the wood how much to soak up, right? So I find that for me, I use a lot of single colors. I maybe do 2, which is a blue, and maybe a bright red, which will give you a different color again. But I don't get messed up with the everythings, because I find that I get frustrated.
Don't go.
Yeah, you know, I tell you as it is, man. Yeah, let me see if I can find that one.
It's got a Minwax product. I mean,
Yeah.
you're using that just to bring up the depth of the wood, is that?
It looked really papesy. And then I put a red on it before it was dry. And this is the kind of color that came up. And I'm happy with that, right? I'm happy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some oil on it and show you what happens. There we go. Dollar store. These are fantastic. They're shot glasses, right? Yeah. So I'll put a little bit in here and show you.
Was it paint or dye, blue or red?
Dye.
Dye?
Yeah. And see-through dye, you know, it's transparent.
Charlie, what did you mix that, the color with? Alcohol?
Alcohol. I always use alcohol. What I do is I get small little bowls. That you, what do you call them? That you put.
Ramekin?
No, the ones that you put jams and stuff in.
Mason jar.
Little fruit. And I put them in there. Oh, yeah, you don't want me to finish your stuff for you, huh?
Are you talking about mason jars?
Yeah,
Yeah.
mason jars, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put a little bit in there. I'll show you how we do it. It's real simple. And the other thing too is if you use these guys are pretty expensive, huh, to use once. So plastic wrap. It'll last 2 or 3 days if you're using the same product. The gloves.
All right, I got a wife that uses bare hands, nothing else.
Oh God, my hands have looked so terrible sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I have to scrub them off with
We've
sandpaper.
already done it for years.
Oh, man.
No, bare hands, I no brush, no nothing, just saying.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that works too. It does. Yeah. Okay, so you can see a big difference here all of a sudden.
So you're not gonna carve this one?
No, no. I might, but we'll have oil on it. It's not really nothing. I think it's too thick to carve, actually, for me.
For piercing.
Piercing. So as bad as it looks when you look at it without this on, all of a sudden it looks half decent, right? Yeah. Even with all the stuff that's gone on in there. Okay? So I usually leave it on a bit longer than what I'm going to leave this on. And I get 2 pieces of paper. Peter, you rip 2 of them for me, please, man. Otherwise I'm going to have stuff all over. Yeah. So I use 2 pieces. Thank you, Peter. One to hold, one to dry it out. This doesn't have enough on it. I'm just showing you what I do. And I dry it down till you can't.
How long would you normally let that soak in, Charles?
Maybe 10 minutes max. Max. Yeah. If you let it go too much, it gels and you have
Can't
problems.
get it off?
Yeah, it's hard. You get ridges and stuff like that.
All in between coats,
Pardon?
in between the coats. Wait a day,
If I'm,
waiting in between coats.
oh, I leave it, I'll tell you, I usually put it overnight and then I'll do another coat. Let it dry. Because sometimes you will put oil on and it really soaks in, right? I've had problems where I've done that and thought it was dry. And when I put it on my vacuum to put the poly on, all the oil came out of the vacuum.
Really?
So,
Second grade up.
and I'm going, where'd that come from? Kind of thing. Yeah. So, like, that's the first coat of oil for me. Simplicity, right?
So that's a red dye and a blue dye.
Yeah, it was a blue first and then a red, but nothing particular. And how I found out about that one day, I was doing a really nice bowl, and I did it blue, and then I did a red one, and I had red doves on all over the place, and I went, oh no.
You're using water-based or oil-based dye?
Alcohol.
Trench.
Yeah. Transtent, yeah.
Alcohol.
So guys, questions, because I'm pretty well done. If you need, ask me. I can't tell you I'll be able to answer any questions, but.
Who sells Transtent dye?
Rockler.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only place I know.
I got alkaline dye. I don't know that.
Alkaline dye will work too, but what happens with alkaline dye is it raises the grain in your wood because it's water-based.
Basically use water.
Yeah, it's water-based, yeah.
You can use alcohol.
Yeah. So you have to sand it first, and then you put that on, and you might still get raised grain, which you have to touch again. Yeah.
Tim, mix your aniline dyes up with a little bit of water and then put your alcohol on it.
Put a little bit of water in first.
Put alcohol in it. Because it'll mix.
Mix better?
Well,
I still have time. If any of you guys want to come up
having water
and
with it.
ask me something on the lathe that you don't, that you can't master, I will try and help you. So if you're more than welcome to come over.
Charles, you said you would then put that on your vacuum truck to put the poly on?
No. I put maybe 2 more coats on this first.
Right.
And then, yeah, I'll stick it on the vacuum truck. And then I use this, spin in this way, and I start there and go.
Right, okay. And then flip it over?
Well,
Let it dry?
I make small chunks, right? I have small little chunks, so I'll put this on, and I'll spin it the other way. I'll spin it this way,
Okay. Okay.
and then spin it this way and go.
Put your mind because it designated finishing machine.
Thanks, Charles.
I hope you learned something.
Lots of work.
We miss you. Yeah, we miss you. When you coming back here?
Never used the vacuum truck.